Well, it's happened to all of us. You get that uncle, that cousin, that brother, that friend invites you along one day, says, hey, let's go on a motorbike ride. You hop on my ATV, my motorcycle. It'll be fun, I swear. And then you take him up and say, yeah, that sounds like a blast, let's go. And then you hop on and all of a sudden you go, what in the Laffy Taffy is this? I got levers here, I got a brake, what, I don't know what any of this stuff is. I don't know what it does. That's what we're talking about today. Simple tips on how to use a clutch. It's not really as hard as you think it is. I managed to teach my, at the time, 7-year-old daughter in about 2 minutes to figure out how this whole clutch finagle thing works. So let's see if we can teach you. Now the good news is it doesn't really matter if you're on a motorcycle or an ATV. At least in my experience, both ATVs and motorcycles, they have exactly the same mechanical setups almost. One's got 4 wheels, one's got 2. Ignore that. But mechanically they're the same, at least on the Japanese bikes that I've usually ridden. And so, you know, this is the KLR motorcycle here. You got a clutch here, you got a front brake there, rear brake down there. Same on the ATV. You got a rear brake down there, front brake over there, clutch is over here. That's the simplicity of it. As far as to what the clutch does, we'll go into a longer explanation of that later. Don't worry about it now, but simplicity is what we need to know right now. And so what you need to visualize when you're using this clutch is imagine a spinning bar. Now, if you're going to grab that spinning bar, you don't want to grab it all at once because that's going to hurt, right? And so just think of the clutch. When you're letting off the clutch, you're releasing it, it's going to start grabbing that bar. This clutch, it releases the bar. And so when it grabs the spinning bar, you want to do it gently, because if you grab it all at once, it's going to cause some pain. The bike's going to stall, you're going to flip over. One of those things is going to happen. It could be interesting, but just remember, gently. And so what we're going to do, same thing I did for my, at the time, 7-year-old daughter, is we're going to do the simplest exercise that you can do to start this. And what you want to do is find just a flat parking lot, flat gravel, somewhere flat with hard surface that you can safely do this. So don't do this in the street unless you happen to live on a private street or a very quiet area. And you're just going to go no throttle. Leave the throttle out of it, one hand only. So you don't need to be touching anything over here, motorcycle or ATV. You know, you don't need to be twisting, no throttle, just the clutch only. And we're going to practice just letting the drive, the final drive there, catch. And then when you start to feel it go, you'll just practice starting and going. This is how it works, you know. Pull the clutch to stop, let the clutch out to go. Pull the clutch to stop, let it out to go. Just don't do it that fast because you're going to kill the bike. So let's give it a shot. Okay, here we go. So I'm using my right hand to hold the camera, so there is no right hand involved, so there will be no throttle on this. I recommend using both hands if you're doing this. Just don't touch the throttle. Anyways, quite simply, I'm going to put it in gear, and we're just going to let go only. So see, I'm just gently letting go, and the bike goes. We're off the throttle. That's all there is to it. If I want to stop, I got to grab that clutch, hit the brake. Same thing. I'm going to let out the clutch. Bike starts to go gently, and now we're going. I want to stop, grab the clutch, hit the brake. I'm using the rear brake, of course, because my foot's on it, but you get the point. Let out the clutch, bike starts to go, grab it, and stop. Now, if I do it too fast, the bike dies. And that's what we don't want to do. It's quite embarrassing. I've got a lot of footage of me doing it. 725. It's supposed to be a loop. Oh my God, you're killing me. Of course. Even still, it happens. Don't worry. Just live with it. It's fun to laugh at it. Bike's going again. Let out the clutch. And we're going. Stopping. Dying. That's how it works. See? Alrighty. Okay, so yeah, just practice that drill for 10-20 minutes, however long it takes you to really get the hang of just kind of grabbing the clutch and letting go and slowly feeling the drive shaft engage until you get the hang of it. Then you're going to start adding throttle. And by this point, you should definitely be in gravel, if not soft dirt or sand. And you'll just want to apply a little bit of throttle as you're letting go of the clutch at the same time. Eventually you'll get to the point where you're going fast enough, say 10-20 miles an hour, you're going to start shifting. And so same thing, you can shift ATVs and motorcycles without the clutch if you have a wet clutch. It doesn't cause that much wear and tear, that's why they're wet clutches. But regardless of that, let's practice with the clutch. And so same thing, when you're going to shift, you're going fast enough, the bike's making a lot of noise and not going any faster, you're going to pull the clutch in, and you can pull up on this little shifter here. That brings you up a gear. You have 5 gears usually. You go down one. That's going to bring you down a gear. and then you let off the clutch gently. Don't do it too fast, because if you've shifted down and you let off it too fast, you might end up not liking what happens. Same thing, if you're not going fast enough and you shift too far up, the bike will lug. It will go blah, 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 blah. And that means it's also going to stall. And so same thing, make sure you only go up one gear at a time. And see, as I'm showing you now, no clutch, and I can go up and down. That's what I'm showing you. You can still do that without the clutch, but it'll be a lot easier with the clutch when you're first starting. Okay, I'm going to try and do this in a very awkward position. I don't have a helmet cam on. I'm just going to hold this to my legs, and we'll see if I can do it with throttle and show you how throttling up works. Make sure we're in first gear first. Okay, there we go. So see, well, that's not a good angle. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Here I am releasing clutch, adding throttle. Pulling throttle, clutch in, hitting front brake. Releasing clutch, adding throttle. Pull clutch in, front brake. I can't use the rear brake right now because my feet are on my seat, but anyways, you get the idea. So when you're adding throttle, you just kind of do it gently. Basically, you're going to wait to the point where you start to feel it grab. When you feel the clutch starting to grab, you add some throttle. And just kind of add it gently until you get a feel for how much throttle to actually add. And after you've done that enough times, you'll be a pro at it. So clutches aren't as hard as they seem like. They just need a little bit of practice, and they're just a little bit different because it's kind of an old world design. So once you know how to use one clutch, you can pretty much use them all. This same technique works on cars. Just change your clutch handle to a clutch pedal. Good luck. Okay, but on to one more note. I did say I was going to talk a little bit more about what the clutch is and what it actually does. And so some of you guys out there might want to hear this. Let's just talk about that. Once again, it's the same on both bikes. I found the Kawasaki here was a little bit easier to illustrate, but we'll start with this guy. Here you got the engine spins around, all the gears and stuff get going. I got a bunch of fancy terms for those. We won't get into that because I'll mess it all up. But down here, you're going to have the countershaft and the final drive. Can't really see it very well on the Raptor, but that's going to connect to the chain, makes the rear wheel spin. On the Kawasaki here, on the KLR, I can show you. Same thing, got the engine here, it spins up and down, all the gears down here spin around and around, connect to the countershaft, final drive. And I think you can see it right there. Yeah, you see the little gear, we call it the front sprocket, but that is the final drive. And that will make this spin, makes the chain spin, which makes the rear wheel spin. Now on modern day bikes, some of them have belt drives, some of them have drive shafts, depends what you're driving. Urals have drive shafts. I think a lot of KTMs, a lot of street bikes have the belt drives. Anyways, it's all kind of the same thing. It just changes things around a little bit, makes it more complicated and gives you something fun to talk about. Good luck learning that clutch. If you do learn it, it's a life skill and you'll have a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. Go. And stop.
Oh, sorry.
And go. Aha.